Hello, I'm Charlotte Ricker-Smith. Welcome to International Showjumping from Chepstow at the David Broome Event Centre. It's one of the UK's biggest and busiest showgrounds, attracting the UK's top show jumpers. I'm here to bring you highlights from the weekend's biggest class. It's the Big Tour Grand Prix, happening in this fantastic arena right behind me here. So David, obviously this is the first FEI 2-star international competition you've had here. What does it mean to you to get that accreditation?
Well, very proud really. I mean, I think back to about 6 years ago when my father started, and we were putting the posts in to put the rope around the original rings. Oh, this is completely madness, you know what I mean? Why are we bothering? But I mean, over the years it's grown, and this is our latest step really, and very proud, and I think it's been very well received.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you've built this really up from nothing to this international show here today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is our farm, and the father had this dream to do another Hickstead, you know, as it was in those days.
Fantastic.
And it
Yes.
still is.
Yes, absolutely.
And he followed a dream, and you know, we've sort of carried on.
It's a great facility. The ring is fabulous, you know,
Yeah.
especially when you get the whole of the main ring. It's, you know, it's a bigger ring than you get anywhere. So yeah, it's a great ring, and they've done a really good job, especially for the first international show they've got here.
This show's only 5-10 minutes away from me, so it's on my doorstep. And I think it means a lot to the riders. You know, not many always go abroad and have the international experience. You know, and to say you've done an international show is very good. And I think we need to have more and more. You know, so I think it's really, really good.
I'm here to win, always. I've been jumping at lots of international shows, so just here to do the best I can and win as much as I can.
Some interesting comments from some of the riders there. Well, the Big Tour Grand Prix has already kicked off. There's 59 starters, and we've seen some big names already fall by the wayside, proving what a tough track it is. Tina Fletcher, who we caught up with earlier, unfortunately she had 4 faults down with Hello Sailor at the last combination. But another big rider here is gold medalist Peter Childs. He rode a typically classy round to jump clear. Let's catch up with the rest of the action with Steve Wild.
Yes, another very good names not going through, sadly. Many with just the 1 pole down, but that's the one that counts. It is Chloe Aston and quite easy for former rider Ben Mayer that picked up 13 in all, 81.40. Very good young talents, and that's what this show's also been about, with the European viewing trials also a part of this international show. The rides for Ellen Whittaker with a great string of horses she's got now, and Ashtar Luxara unfortunately picked up faults as well and didn't make it through to round 2, finishing on a total of 12. A good round for the home nation, and Welsh-based rider Carrion Scudamore, who's performed so well at the European trials before now and made those European teams, did make it through to round 2 with a consistent ride with Lorino, giving a clear round in 78.60. So we'll see her in the jump-off. Another very good young rider making the real international mix at this show was US rider Amy Aaron, who also made it through to round 2 with a clear round on her ride ODL. The lady riders going strong forward to that jump-off so far, and another of those that made it through was Jessica Mendoza and Spirit T. Consistent performances that we've seen in ponies, and really performing well now in the horse ranks.
What are the particular fences that people are having problems with?
The 4 strides down to the stile, the planks, it's really short. And then to get back to number 6, it's quite a tight turn, so you've got to make sure you're straight to that as well.
Yes, and there's quite a few time penalties. It looks like it's quite a fast course, is that right?
Yeah, time's really tight in there.
It looked like I could see you were riding very forward.
Yeah, I had to ride forwards the whole time, but she was good.
And can you tell us a little bit about the horse, about the mare you're riding?
It was my 3rd show on her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's 12 years old. She's been doing like this level and a bit bigger previously. But she's really clicking with me now. So.
Fantastic. So only 3rd show, so obviously a good partnership in the making. So well done.
Thank you.
And good luck in the jump-off.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Not just the lady riders making their mark, but the young Whittaker talent of George Whittaker and Westleton M.
It's a 10-year-old by Casco. It's still green really. He did a 3-star Grand Prix last week and had 1 down, so that was a bit more difficult than this today. But this week he's shown a bit of his greenness, a little bit, like he keeps on jumping fantastic, but then like spots something and does something daft and has a fence. But he's coming on better, and hopefully I'll jump clear today.
Good to see so many of our young riders getting some top horses in their strings now. George, who's been a big part of the young rider and junior teams before now. And now also making that very good transition to keep the Whittaker name flying the flag around the world in international competitions. Probably had more experience than some of the young riders here in international ranks. It's all about performing on the day. They're well over the water. Just getting a little more entertainment in the background from Caldecott Castle as their historical reenactment gets underway. Doesn't cause any distraction though. Here's Prix. Looks good so far. New fences in the arena as well for this international competition that they haven't seen before, which is also adding a little bit of spice to the competition. Down this line. Courses this week designed by Irish course designer Alan Wade, who's literally built around the world. And then this to join the rest of them in round 2. Good round from George Whittaker, and Wessel to them proves once again that they are a talent to be reckoned with and go forward to that jump off. 79.43 inside that time, all right. So George joins the hunt. Gemma Johnsey Plumley and Kobe, as she said, literally lives over the hill, and a horse that she's produced through the young horse ranks.
He won the Young Horse Championships as a 6-year-old, also shared the bonus with Anthony Condon. Last year he, as a 7-year-old was produced, qualified the Fox final and was 3rd in the final. Had a holiday after then and then started again in the Sunshine Tour in Spain and just went from strength to strength, jumping the big classes, highly placed in them. So he's turning into, a superstar really.
And he's still only 8, and it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, he's still very young, he's still inexperienced. He hasn't done a mass amount for an 8-year-old, but what he's done is, is pure class really.
8 years of age when the horses had just started to get into their international careers, and this is where shows like this Chepstow International are great at giving not just riders but horses that experience as well. Kobe looking a very exciting prospect indeed. And again, you can see them just starting to develop over these big fences. Great to have a show like this here in the UK. Gemma, good round. Coming down this final line. And whatever happens here, I'm sure she'll be happy with this horse. Just to the final fence. It is just the 4 she picks up there. It is a good round from that combination, though, and good building blocks for the future. Gemma Johnsey Plumley and Kobe finishing on 4, 72.78. Rob Maguire and Zidane. This horse a 9-year-old now. Zidane the 8th. Horse he's produced right the way through as well. Has won a number of classes in international competition with this one as it's developed. As I say, 9 years of age, so had a little bit more experience than the ride of Gemma Johnsey Plumley. Won out in Santander. Also won earlier on this season too. Last couple of seasons they've notched up wins in Spain. One that he certainly is very excited about indeed and puts consistent performances in with. Rob from the north of England, from near Wigan. Made his trek down to the southwest. And again, over the years, has produced a whole host of top horses, has won everything from the Puissance at Horse of the Year show, right the way through to young horse national classes and top international Grand Prix all around the world. Zidane certainly at the top of his string now, developing now as a 9-year-old, same age that Big Star was when Nick and Big Star won that gold medal at London last year. Down this final line. One more to come, and looking a very good prospect indeed for one of the more experienced riders. Good round from Rob Maguire and Zidane, and kicks them right into round 2 of this Chepstow International jump-off. Rob Maguire giving us the 9th clear round and was the final clear to go forward to round 2. Those that picked up poles, sadly, included Sammy Joe Coffin and Willem Deluxe, picking up just the 4 faults and right on that final line which caught out so many around this course designed by Alan Wade. Another one that was caught out on the course as well, and again the last fence, was Nicole Pavitt, and Victor Blue stormed through the victories at the Welsh Masters here a few weeks ago, but this time finishing on 4 faults. Another one that picked up faults on the way for home was this combination of Graham Gillespie and Eros H. Took off over many of them, but sadly the 1 pole down, finishing on 4. Adding more international spice, US rider but now under the British flag, is Clark Glasgow, Orlando of Cavallini, for many years training with Tim Stockdale. Sadly just the 1 down today, 79.75. Those are the clears then, 9 of them going forward over this course designed by international course designer from Ireland, Alan Wade, who's certainly tested them all the way. It's going to be a good one.
Alan, how did the course jump, do you think?
I was quite happy with it. We've 9 clear out of, I think it was at 66 or 67.
Yes.
It is a world ranking class, so we were built to max dimensions that 145 would allow. And I think it was a fair test.
Yes. There was a few riders with time faults there, wasn't there? Did you think, was the time quite tight?
Well, we actually added 2 seconds, but I didn't think there was any excuse for time faults. There was 2 or 3 places that I could easily make up. And if you look at the results, there was a lot of the more experienced riders, I called them, were coming in around 74, 75 seconds.
And the jump-off round, we're just putting the jump-off up. What sort of challenges, what particular fence do you think could cause problems? Or
Not really, they just have to be smooth. I have a sharp left-hand turn and a sharp right-hand turn, so just to get the balance, to make sure that some horses and riders have preference for, so we've asked them both questions, and then they have some space to gallop, so that the best man or woman and beast win.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
It's certainly going to be a great battle to the finish. The stage is set for the jump off for the Chepstow International Grand Prix. Join us after the break. Welcome back to the Chepstow International Horse Show from the David Broome Event Centre. 9 in all going forward to that jump-off, and look at that for a mix of talent. Experienced riders, Olympic gold medalist, great young talent to come through, and we're going to get underway with the Welsh rider of Carrion Scudamore and Lorino. It would be great to see a rider from the nation taking home this international competition. She's performed so well in the European trials here before now, and this could be a very quick one to test the rest from the very, very start. The course, as we saw, designed by Ireland's Alan Wade, and he knows it's going to test them to the very, very top limit. It's going to be a real windy one as well, as we see the first few fences from Carrion back over the water tray, back over this line, over the Welsh flags, through the 2 parts of that double, then across the centre of the arena. Again, you can't miss it's in Wales. And then 2 more to go on course. A little island left in there, so riders can decide whether to cut inside that one or not. Over the seahorses and down to the castle fence to finish. So a good run for home as they come over the last. Carrion Scudamore sets a good standard to start us off on 42.01 and clear. Is it enough? No, there are 8 more to come in this jump off, and I have a feeling that time's going to come under pressure. Good round though from Carrion Scudamore and Lorino. Amy Aaron and ODL for the USA, based here in the UK. Number of riders for the US, based here with Nick Skelton and Laura Crouch. Has that early fence down, so unfortunately it's going to cause the combination to drop down the order. Remember, we've got that first clear round from our first rider. A good young talent for another nation. Amy looking now to get home with a quick 4 faults, and then she has to sit back and wait and see where that leaves her in the final lineup. It's going to go round this island to the final couple on course. 1 more to go. Try and stay on the 4 faults. Down to the last. Over that without too much trouble at all. 40.13 the time, and picks up just the 4 faults around the track for that combination of Amy Aaron and ODL. As we saw a time of 42.01 from Carrion Scudamore, so it shows already that Carrion's time is catchable, but of course that 1 fence down. Jessica Mendoza, Spirit T, we've seen perform so well at the European trials before now here on the ponies, is now well and truly established in the horse ranks, and we know is so quick against the clock. Over the first 3 at a very quick lick indeed. Turns back tightly to this one. So it's the Irish fence, and then keeping the international feel down to the Welsh fence then at this double. Looks quick so far. Remember the time of Carrion Scudamore, 42.01. That looks very much in danger as they turn swiftly round here. Tight as you like to that one, and then onward to the finish. Time to beat 42.01. Looks very much in danger. She's going to do that without too much trouble at all. 35.65. Absolutely blitzes into the front for Jessica Mendoza and Spirit T. That really does now lay a target for the rest to come. Good round from her, as we can see. It's going to be a chase to the last all the way. Picks up over that. Looks back to make sure it's there. It certainly is, and she goes into the lead. George Whittaker, Westleton M now. We'll need to find a little bit more around this course. It's going to come down to literally inches around the track to make up that time, and that's where it all goes wrong. A stop there puts their chances right out of the window, I'm afraid. So picks up 4 faults for the refusal. Straightens back up, settles the horse down as we see again where it went wrong. Came down to this one, all just didn't go right. Straight through it. The bell goes and will certainly pick up the 4. We'll just look to level everything back. Come back round to the fences and build the confidence. Has it down again this time, so starts to rack up the faults. 8 faults now at this stage. He's going to have 6 seconds to add on the clock as well under the rules. We'll probably take this pretty steadily now, knowing that they're out of the running. Just wants a nice confidence builder of a finish to finish well. Keep the combination for another day. Cuts inside there. First one to do that. Shaves a little bit off the time, but it's the 12 faults that are going to be the sinking of this combination, I'm afraid. 49.68 was the final time, and a total of 12 for George Whittaker and Westleton M. Still leading the way then is Jessica Mendoza, as we see the final confirmation of George Whittaker. I'm afraid it was 2 time as well they picked up around the track. 1 going down in there, but I'm afraid it was the 3rd fence that was the real undoing. Olympic gold medalist Peter Charles, MBE, Odi de Fervent. French horse, of course, it was Vindicant W that he won the Olympic gold medal on, but this horse looks very exciting indeed, and to go right to the top of his string. Peter was here just a few weeks ago as well, competing in the Welsh Masters, just getting his eye in, ready for this international show. And again, can give a masterclass to some of the young riders here, as we see him cut inside there too. That makes up plenty of time. A look at the clock, 35.65. It's going to be very close. Isn't going to be quite quick enough. 37.13, but that combination continues to build, and I think that is certainly one that will go right to the top in team competition to come in the coming years. 37.13. Peter Charles, Odi de Fervent, goes into 2nd spot. Very happy with that one. Abby Birchmore-Eames, Willandry, consistently performing on the national circuit, and has also been competing out in Spain earlier on this season. Now this is where one of the turns that comes into it gives a chance for them to make up or lose that time coming into this line. How wide do they go? She gives a little bit more space there. Down to the group of Welsh fences. Jessica Mendoza has really put the pressure on with that very quick time. She goes wide there, but again, so did Jessica, but she kept up the pace all the way. 35.65. She's not going to take over the lead, but she's going to get up in the top few if she clears this. She does. 39.36. A good clear round and another consistent performance from Abby Birchmore-Eames, and Willandry puts her into 4th place at this stage, with Jessica Mendoza still leading the way, coming down to our final few. James Smith, Hope Springs, rider who's originally from Scotland, all the way down for this international show for a number of years. Has that one down. Worked very closely with Paul Barker. Again goes wider there, gives himself some space to get to this line. So easy to cut tight there and then have that spread over the water down. James on this 8-year-old, another 8-year-old competing here. Exactly what we talked about earlier. Belgian bred. Again, just hugs that island, keeping up the movement all the way. Isn't going to catch the leader, and of course has had that fence down, but could put them up with a good chance of some money. 4 faults there, 41.33. Keeps them as far up the line as they can, but it was the early fence down that caused the problems. Goes into 6th place overall for James Smith and Willandry. Another one just touching off that style fence. Robert Maguire and Zidane the 8th. Now becoming an experienced combination. 9 years of age, this horse. Wins in the last few years in Spain, from wins in Santander and San Sebastian, also on the Sunshine Tour. And Rob, with plenty of experience at competing at this level now, has won all over Europe. Now, can he produce something to catch Jessica? Went tight over that fence, as you see, just came to the right-hand side, slipped himself in nicely for that fence and down to the last. It's a run to the last, looks very good indeed. Has he got her? Yes, he has, 35.01. So with 1 to come, Robert Maguire goes into the lead with Zidane. Scores a very good round there indeed and goes into top spot. 35.01 with 1 to come. Has he done enough to win this Chepstow International Grand Prix? As we see here, set sail rail for the last. And that was the only way he was going to catch our leading combination. Picks up well over that and runs on to the finish. So small the margin between the top few, but it's Rob Maguire that now leads. Final combination, Laura Robinson and Prix Cruiser. Rider who came through the Children on Horses competitions. Then going on to compete in the junior ranks, the under-18s. Has gone a little wider there. Horse certainly has no problem jumping the fences. A rider maturing all the time. Whether it's quick enough to catch Robert, we saw Rob here just hug that fence to the right-hand side, thinking about that turn around the island. She's gone wider. One more fence to come. It's going to be a good one. It isn't going to be quite quick enough to catch the leader, but it's a good round from Laura Robinson. 37.81, puts in the clear round once again and puts her up in the top few to finish in 4th place for Laura Robinson and Prix Cruiser. 37.81 the final time, but it does mean the title from Chepstow is headed up to Wigan, and congratulations to Robert Maguire. There's the final lineup. It is Jessica Mendoza that finishes in 2nd spot, and Olympic gold medalist Peter Charles finishing in 3rd.
Here is Robert Maguire, who's just won the Grand Prix. Amazing. We didn't think Jessica was going to be beaten. So how did you do it?
No, and I didn't see her go. I saw the first one go, which was like 42. And then I heard that she was 35. So I knew I had to be really quick. And it suited mine to go quick over the first couple.
Yes.
And I actually wasn't sure whether I'd done enough or not when I jumped the Wales vertical. But I nearly went round, but it landed quite short, so I nipped inside, and I think it was that kind of got it. If it had gone round, I definitely wouldn't have caught her.
And it was really, Jessica took a flyer to the last, and I think you had to do the same, didn't you, there? You had to really push on to the last.
Yeah, as soon as I landed after the water tray, I really moved, and then actually I got there quite well, actually. I was having to pull a little bit when I got there, but yeah, she jumped really good.
She was really quick and everything, but I should have got inside to number 14. I think that's where he beat me on the time.
Because the fly you took to the last was unbelievable, and she did hit it, didn't she? But it stayed.
Yeah, she did, but I didn't expect her to take off, actually. I don't know what went through my mind.
So you weren't really planning on taking the stride out?
I just saw it, so I thought, why not?
You went for it.
Yeah.
And again, it's just your 3rd show with her, isn't it? Which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really happy with her. She's coming along nicely.
Fantastic. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, there's our winner, Robert Maguire, putting another good international win to his name with Zidane. The 9-year-old performs once again. Congratulations to them winning the Chepstow International.
Well, it was a fantastic afternoon of show jumping here in the glorious Welsh sunshine. What a start for the very first international show here at Chepstow. It was a really, really fantastic event. Such an exciting jump off. We really thought Jessica Mendoza had it in the bag, but then along came Robert Maguire, who just managed to beat her by less than a second, so well done to him. We've had a great afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed it too, and we look forward to seeing you next time.